We're here at a committee room at the George Council, and I'm sitting with the ANC members. On my left is Nomawethu, Jantjies-Gushman, Chief Whip, and we've got Charlie Williams and Langa. And here to my left, we've got Virgill Gericke from the BBI. We're talking about what happened in council, or what did not happen in council yesterday on Thursday. Langa, you want to say something about the whole situation?
Yes, of course, Michelle, I do want to say something. Firstly, I think it is to be said that it was quite disgusting to actually note the attitude of the DA based on what they did yesterday when we arrived at council. In fact, let me first say it, that they actually sent us messages of postponement of the meeting indefinitely. And those messages that were sent were messages that were sent on an 11th hour, which they know is actually illegal and wrong. But added more to that, most disappointing was that when we arrived at council, because we actually were in majority, when we arrived at council chambers, the chambers were locked, right? Which is something that never happened in the past.
So that's a first.
That was the first time ever that we would actually arrive and the council chambers are locked, right? We made our attempts to actually indicate to the speaker that we'd want to have the meeting continued, and that was not the case. He actually vehemently refused to actually allow us access to council chambers. But also, what is even more disturbing is that with all of this, we had very, very important items that were to discuss, in this, this council meeting. One of which was actually the adjustments budget passing, which is actually, obligatory on us as council to actually pass that, because we had to do it before the end of February, and that is now not the case. Now, that for us is actually quite concerning and a clear indication that the DA has no interest to service the people, because all of what is actually contained in that budget is something that is now not going to happen, because that's service delivery related. And it's not going to happen because of their own political battles that they are actually putting above or over and above the services that needs to be rendered to the people out there. Clearly, the DA is trying to hide something. Clearly, they are actually trying to show that they don't care about the voters out there. All they care about is the political power that they use to actually cause corruption, but also hide lots of corrupt activities that would have been uncovered after this council meeting of yesterday. So it's quite concerning for all of us. And we need to pursue that until such time they actually give in, because they will ultimately give in. It's not going to be for long. It's only a matter of time before they can fall flat.
Charlie, when do you think the next council meeting will take place? Because they didn't give it time, right? But it's bound to happen.
Yes, they have to call within a week the next council meeting because of a compliance issue that the adjustment budget have to be approved, so that service delivery can continue. So the next council meeting, I expect it to be on Thursday.
The coming Thursday.
This coming Thursday, because the last one was supposed to be yesterday, which was Thursday.
Yeah.
And that gives a week.
So expecting one on the 5th of March.
5th of March.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. I think, yes, if it is up to the speaker, the next council meeting will be on Thursday. But if it is up to us, the next council meeting will be on Monday. Because we are petitioning the speaker to constitute a meeting, because in the rules of order 5.2, it allows us as a majority of councillors to call the speaker, and speaker must sit that meeting at the given time that we give him. So because the DA ran away yesterday, because they know their numbers doesn't gel, so we suffer because their numbers did not gel. We cannot allow that to happen, because really there are serious issues on that agenda. If the agenda was only about the motions, maybe the DA is running away from the motions, but the agenda was not only about the motions. The agenda was also about a very important aspect. The very important aspect on that agenda was the adjustment budget, which means if you don't approve the adjustment budget, the service delivery is suffering. The people are not going to get what is due to them. There are roads that needs to be worked on this budget. but the DA is running away because it's just they don't care. Thank you, Michelle.
Virgill.
Yes, it's just so nice to know that the DA is in deep trouble in the city of George. They are very much in trouble, and therefore they're running away for this council meeting to face reality. You know what is upsetting here is the fact that this meeting was about the approval of the adjustment budget. If the budget is not adjusted, it will affect service delivery on the ground. And some of the service delivery issues revolve around the roads to be upgraded for the rollout of phase 4 for the Go George buses to service the citizens of George on that side of George. There's a 30 million rand, more or less a 30 million rand, that should be approved in this adjustment budget to upgrade the roads. That has not happened, and if this condition is going to continue, it's not going to happen any soon. It means that it will have an effect on the rollout of the bus service for the people of Borges, Cornwall, Nomawethu, and so on. That's a 30 million rand. There's also a 3 million rand on the adjustment budget that needs to be approved for shelters and for bus stops. It means that those people will stand in the rain and in the sunshine, for that matter, and they won't have shelter in terms of the bus stops. Now, there's also what they call the MIC, the Municipal Infrastructure Grant. There's approximately 12 million rand on that adjustment budget for the rollout of the tartan track in Rosemore. Now, we have approved that tartan track, I think, 3-4 years ago already, and there was no movement. The budget is now coming up, and it cannot be approved because of the tussling of the DA, political tussling.
I want to ask a question. We had Treasury here
Yes.
on Monday, and they seemed all pleased with the adjustment budget.
Yes, they are. They are obviously pleased because this is the proposed adjustment budget. But if it's not approved, it cannot roll up. It cannot come into
So
effect.
it must be tabled in council.
It must be tabled. It's a must.
It's a procedure.
It's a procedure, but it's a prerequisite. It's compliance. It's a prerequisite before you can use that money. It must be approved by council. Now, if this money is not approved, it cannot be used. That 12 million rand of the MIC funds is for the tartan track partially, and then also the upgrading of sewage works in your Nomawethu area and also in the new housing development of Packersdorp for the sewage. I mean, people cannot move into those houses if there's no sewage there. That is the problem. And then lastly, if this condition is going to continue, indefinitely, the MEC may embark on, in terms of Section 139 of the Municipal Finance Management Act. And
what does that mean in
means
normal
that
terms?
He can intervene and they can propose a recovery plan. It means that decision making will be centralized somewhere in Cape Town.
Is it almost like administration?
It's a
prelude.
It's almost like administration, yes. When your decision making process is centralized and your councillors cannot decide, the elected political office bearers of this city cannot decide on the business of the city, we are in deep trouble. And this is where the DA has got us now. They want to centralize decision making in Cape Town around their ministers, their MECs, and whoever their political structures, and effectively taking away service delivery in George. Because if this decision making is centralized somewhere out of George, it means that they can use service providers as they are doing at the moment. You have ASLA coming into George, being afforded a 400-500 million rand project in the city of George. There's no contractors, local contractors that are benefiting. The DA has awarded it from on top. You have a contractor coming from the Free State. They are building houses here, millions, hundreds of millions of rands of houses being built by this contractor in the area of Rosedale. The DA has decided that they will ignore local economic development. They are bringing people from outside. That is the problem that we are sitting with when you centralize decision making.
So in your opinion, they recognize that they're not going to have a majority in council again.
Well, this is why they're running away.
And second best would then be to centralize. And
yes.
Do you think there's a possibility that there might not be another council meeting?
Well, we don't foresee in the near future because the DA doesn't have the numbers at the moment. And the reality is that they don't trust, even the people that are in their corner at the moment, they don't trust some of those people because they are fearful that some of those people will vote with us, the opposition. And that's the reality. This is why they're running away for this meeting. And I think the public needs to know this. But those people that are in the DA benches, that vote together with the opposition, those people are within their right because they exercise the will of the electorate outside. They do not exercise the will of the caucus because the law doesn't make provision for a caucus decision. They exercise the will of the people, and therefore they get punished because they exercise the political will of the people, and the people want services.